My thesis term is topic is enterprise planning system selection process as a critical success factor in a sample of business in Guadalajara. Excuse me?
You supervise the reads?
Is Juan Carlos Castola? González Castola? Yes. Well, I asked him and he said, don't put my name. No. Sorry, but it's okay. I know I have to put it somewhere. Okay. Well, this is my presentation is divided into these many topics, main steps: an introduction, research goals, research questions, my top tips, and the research methodology I'm trying to use. In this presentation, I try to mix between my thesis research and also the paper that I registered in this workshop. So I'm trying to use the two things to mention what I'm doing and what I have discovered right now. So information and communication technology is claimed that could gain a competitive advantage to the organizations. But this competitive advantage can be done by itself. They need also that the entity should have standardized business process, people that use and know those processes, and how to use them. Also, the ERP is an enterprise information system. That information system is, the anatomy is this. We have a central database, we have different organizational functional processes and operations, and these operations need people. All these people could be customers, suppliers, employees, managers, and stakeholders, and all this is inside it is the anatomy of the ERP. This ERP tries to storage all the transactions and operations that an enterprise or organization could do. We could say sales or buying or different kind of operations. What is the main goals on an ERP? Is to automate business process, improve interactions and communication inside and outside the organizations. As I said before, we have suppliers, we have customers, we need to talk with them and also have interaction with them. So the ERP tries to do that, to make a better way to complete those business goals. I also found that in the literature that from 40 to 70% of the ERP implementation fails. And that means a lot of money, because every attempt at implementation needs from $500,000 to 15 million pesos to be spent on that implementation. So if we have this kind of this percentage of fails, the money waste and the resource waste in this kind of implementation is very high. So that's this justification, because we need to understand why the ERP implementation is affected by critical success factors. Reviewing the literature, I have found that there's different kind of critical success factors. Summers almost and a lot of authors mention different kind of critical success factors. Some of the main success factors are top management support, that we could see here, and inadequate ERP selection, and also project management. So there are some of the most mentioned critical success factors in the literature. And inside this literature, we also found that the implementation is divided in three main phases. These phases are concept, implementation and post-implementation. These three main stages, well, the first one is concept and is divided in strategic planning. Is where we know what the enterprise needs to implement it, what is the requirement of the implementations, and also the selection process. This selection process is what is my investigation aim. After that, well, in the literature, as I said before, system selection is a critical success factor because a lot of different authors mention that this is a critical success factor. So, if we want ERP success, we need to know exactly what's happening with the system selection, and in that case, well, my research are this. I want to propose a model for ERP system selection process using identifying the different critical variables and also the relation of these critical variables. After that, after identifying these elements, I want to design a simulation model for the process of selection. My research questions is how to know that the ERP system selection process is a factor that improves successful implementation, how to know that ERP system is successfully implemented, and also how an ERP system selection methodology based on computational intelligence improves successful implementation. So my hypothesis is this: an enterprise resource planning system selection process based on a computational intelligence improves success on implementation compared with the use of empirical selection process. This is what I tried to prove. What is the methodology that I'm going to use? Well, first I need to identify, analyze all the literature regarding critical success factors. I already made some advice about that regarding my paper. What is the effect between ERP selection process and the successful implementation? And also, what is the meaning of ERP system success? With this information, I also need to elaborate an empirical survey study with definition of sample description, specifications, survey design, etc., and identify where I could send this survey to the enterprise in Guadalajara to know what kind of elements they are using to select the best ERP they are selecting, and also to understand if they are having the success that they have expected when they start the implementation of their systems. With these elements, as I say, I need to classify the critical variables used by the ERP system selection process, try to identify the relation between those variables and why they have that relations, and also if there is maybe a mathematical relation between them. And also, in parallel, I need to study the computational intelligence tools that exist in the world, as maybe vector nets, neural networks, agents, etc., to identify if one of these models could be used to design a model that could explain how the selection process is done. So, with that, I will try to design a methodological frame that includes all these elements, the intelligence computational, the variables and the interrelations, to design a model that I could insert in a simulation tools that could help enterprise organizations to make a better selection process. Some of the selection models that I already have found inside the literature are the weight scoring methods, the analytic hierarchical process, fuzzy logic, an analytic network process, systematic healthcare decisions, priority matrix, committee, topsis, there. And these are the names of the last names of the authors that have mentioned that those methods could be used to a better selection process. So I found in the literature that the RP systems keep attention of the research community because it's a very expanding topic in the research community, in this research community. Critical success factors affect indeed the ERP system implementation, and there is a ERP life cycle that we have to see. Also, selection is included inside those critical success factors, and there are different methodologies used for the evaluation criteria of the best systems or best ERP system for every business or enterprise. So, the future work in this matter is research other computational intelligence and simulation methodologies that can be related to this multi-criteria decision problem, and also elaborate the empirical survey study to obtain information about how the Guadalajara business are doing their selection, or how they done their selection here in Guadalajara, and what is the critical, and trying to identify what are the critical variables used for them in this selection, and how they relate to it. And finally, to design the model using some computational intelligence, like, as I say, Petri nets or others that exist. That's all.
How are you planning to evaluate whether the hypothesis is true or not?
Oh well, first I need to understand why they're using this value. I need to determine quite well what the value uses. After that, I try. What I'm thinking is to go to one enterprise or business that is implementing an ERP without any process model or without any selecting process, and trying to evaluate how they are doing. And on the other hand, using the methodology that I try to find out, apply it to our business, and after that, see how those enterprise compare both implementation process and success.
Do you think you will have enough time for carrying out this kind of study? Because for evaluating whether a company has better results by using one or another methodology or model, or without using it, it may take some time.
Yes, maybe it takes 6 months to 8 months to evaluate this process. So I need to hurry up to identify the variables and all the model to do that. Because I think in the last year of my PhD, I will try to evaluate both elements.
Also, I mean, I'm a little bit concerned about when you write a paper and then the referees read about the evaluation of your work, and you only mention a company, a specific company which is of a specific size, of a specific type, because they target a specific product in the market, etc., etc. That would be enough for being sure that the approach works for a general framework. I mean, if you want to apply your approach for any company, this might not be evidence enough for.
Yes, well, I know what you mean. Well, the literature I have researched or I review, it has the same problem. Most of them use one case or two cases to mention what they are finding. So they left that research just in that way. I mean, we find this and we think that this could be the best way to do it. So maybe it's not the very scientific way to do that, but we found out that this research specific area is the way they are doing that.
Where do they publish these papers?
Precisely in indexes.
Computer science?
It's computer science and information systems. Information systems. There are 2 or 3 different journals from the MIS, from the EEE, IEEE.
Well, you mentioned that around 40 to 70% of the companies that use EPR fail.
Yes.
You didn't mention a reference. It is good you put a reference because otherwise you don't know the audience is also about
Okay.
what that saying comes from.
Yeah, well, all this information I take it from different references. Yes, maybe I need to take the
especially this is the kind of document that are giving support to the problem you're addressing. It is important you give references to the statements that are important.
Yes. Okay. Just at the end of the presentation, I write down all the references. There are too many, so I just. And that's why I didn't put all the numbers here in the slide because they got to be like this one. This one.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any more questions?